A very pleasant good evening to you as we welcome you to the Storm Report for Season 3, Episode 7, right here on campus from Arizona Christian University. We are live from the Tower Grill, and we couldn't be more pleased for this evening's show. We're going to talk some soccer. We'll talk men's and women's swimming with our fourth-year head coach right here on campus, Mr. Brad Herring. He's the man in the middle, and we will talk with him here momentarily. We'll also talk a little football with ACU Football head coach Jeff Bowen. He'll be on the show in our second segment tonight, and then we'll also take it to the pitch in segment 3. We'll talk some soccer with men's soccer players Aiden Abbitt and Janne Hintze. That's right, Janne Hintze will be on the program, the young man from Hamburg, Germany. I'm Kevin Derryberry, your program host. My co-host is Edward Cole, EC, easy money if you like. But Ed, welcome to the broadcast. How are you, my friend?
KD, good evening. Coach, good evening.
Thank you.
Coach Herring, it is a pleasure to have you here. And as we were kind of talking before the program, one of my favorite things to say is Coach Herring rewrote the record book at ASU. He was a 4-time All-American at Arizona State, and he swam at Mona Plummer Aquatic Center, but he is kind enough to join us here on the program. And, Coach, how are you? Welcome to the broadcast.
Doing great. Very excited. Very inspired this year for a lot of reasons. But
well, I'll tell you what. We've had our first meet, and ACU finished second out of 3 opponents in the meet. But let's be honest, we want to talk about the rave and the excitement that is Edgar Betancourt broke 2 records on the men's side of things.
Yeah.
How exciting was that to debut his career here on campus?
You know, it's so fun to see athletes never give up. We gave awards out tonight for that. Erasers, we call them erase, little pencil erasers. And
okay.
Just to see Edward strategize and run down 2 very good swimmers. One of them I actually recruited, and body length, a little over body length behind in the 200 fly, and he came back on the right before that last turn. Normally that doesn't happen, but as we saw in the Olympics with Bobby Fink, who got a gold medal for USA, was in 4th place in the mile and ran everybody else down. That's a lot of energy. That shows he's got even faster swims, but just seeing the champion's heart like that, hunger to win and get to that wall first, and touch out the other 2 guys that were ahead of him. He's really a star. Distance swimmer, swims fly. Everything he does, he puts his whole heart into it. He's got a heart of a lion.
But come from behind, right? To break a school record.
When you're body length and a half behind, it's unheard of and a 25-yard pool, which is collegiate swimming, to make that kind of move. But he was ready. He strategized, and I see some really good things. Broke 2 records, the 500. Those records were due, but that's why we recruited him. It was like, hey, got open water here. He's from Mexico. He lives in Tucson right now, but originally from Mexico, and he knows some of my Mexican coaches and swimmers down there. So we have a good time talking about people down in Mexico too.
A next level swimmer, Ed.
Yes.
Yep.
So, Coach, how exciting was that for you to watch him? Once he hit that wall, he flipped over and he just took off. What was going through your mind when you saw him just take over and just fly right by the leader?
So in the 500, I'll talk about that one too, because that was maybe even more exciting. Fly, normally people in their last 50 of a fly, they do what they call a piano hit their back. Your hips don't go up, you're not going to move anymore. He just took off. But in the 500, he strategized, and he saw the master swimmer in lane 1, just kept peeking at him. And in swimming, most people don't finish faster than what they go out at the halfway point, just like in running and others. What they call a negative split. Negative split is when you come faster on your second half than your first. So he split 26 seconds on his last 50. All of his other 50s were around 30 seconds. So under a 30-second pace, last 50 was 26. Nobody's going to touch that until we get to nationals. So
that's pretty impressive.
It was great. We had so much fun watching it. And again, Masters had an army. They brought over 40 swimmers. We had about 25, 26. And we just enjoyed it, had a lot of fun. First meet, unity was amazing to see. But, yeah, Edgar really pumped it up, and he had the confidence you see in a great athlete. They're not scared of anything. 200 fly, 8 lengths fly, and then right into a 500 free, 20 lengths. That's a swimmer.
That'll take something out of you, Coach. Just the attrition alone, right?
Yeah.
Let alone the mindset, the mental mindset.
It's a physical. He trains so hard. Everything he does, he goes all out, and he knows what he wants. He's trying to make the Pan Am Games for Mexico here coming up, so he's got a lot to go for. He's got it. He knows what he's got to do, and it's fun to go in there and test. A real coach, in my opinion, at least in the swimming realm, you've got different levels there. You've got to give the right carrot, if you will, to each swimmer. If you underestimate them, they get bored. If you overestimate them, they kind of can give up. So with Edgar, we have a whole new realm, and he's got some good training partners. They had a great set tonight, but it's just fun to see them, go to their highest level they can and improve. And right off the bat, get team records is fun. He's smiling.
Coach, you also had success from Bobby Kovacic, Caden Vanderlingen, and Noah Froze, or Franz, or how do we say that's a tough one? We just picked that one up. But overall, the team began the season on a real high note.
Yeah, I would say, points don't show it all because but individually, again, I'm glad you're mentioning those guys. They all did very well. We gave awards tonight. And just seeing the camaraderie of even different nations coming together. We have Ukraine there, we've got Belgium there, we've got Mexico there, we've got Canada there, we've got South Africa there, Guatemala. I mean,
that's global representation, Coach.
Well, we're showing the world that whether you're from a different country or different color, we're one in Christ, and they were behind each other. And my son's swimming on the team, Boaz, and he did a lifetime best in 2 events. So,
Coach,
kind of a proud dad here. Watch my son tear up the pool a little bit and go lifetime best his first swim.
Coach, we only have so much material, and I've got Boaz Herring right there, the young man out of Shadow Mountain High School, and you already just went right to it. So go ahead.
That was going to be okay. Either Kevin was going to bring up Boaz, or I was going to bring it up, but
or I was.
Yeah,
Go
ahead, Coach. Talk about your son.
Well, Boaz, he's kind of one of those late developers. Diamond in the rough. He's had some struggles physically and otherwise growing up. But when you see a college athlete grow into their bodies in college, it's something else. And he's about 4.5% body fat. He's learning how to hold water and kick fast, and he's excited. I mean, when an athlete is motivated and excited and they can stay away from injury, you've got a real champion in them. But just even today, I was watching him swim and go, man, he's doing sets he's never done in his life. And like every athlete, they're probably in the best shape they're going to be in their life. Some will go on and get stronger and all, but seeing Boaz, your own son, swim and try hard and go best times and have an itch for that A relay, but just go best times, even with some big mistakes. A lot of people, when they get a mistake, they're just down in the trenches. Pretty much our whole team was like, I did a mistake, I'm not doing it again. Let's learn and not get in that dugout where you hide your face. No dugouts in swimming, but usually they bury their heads, and blow bubbles.
Maybe that was like you just described the Dallas Cowboys bench last night. Something similar of nature.
Yeah.
Coach, how rewarding is that, though? You've had a lot of success in the pool, and then now you see Boaz come along, and like you mentioned, he's developing into his own, but he's doing different events. He's excelling in that. And you mentioned a PR. You got to be a proud papa for that one.
And that's the thing. I'm glad you brought that up, because everybody, when you can go your best time in season, that's phenomenal. So we have categories of performance. Your lifetime best, where you're shaved, you're tapered, you have your tech suit on, which actually squeezes your body more for laminar flow for the engineers out there. That's a different time than when you go to NAU. You're wearing your workout suit, you're at altitude, which you're not adjusted to, and you've got to do races where there's less air. And then you have your in-season times where you're wearing not a tech suit or even your workout suit, but an in-between, and you're semi-tapered, but you've lifted 3 times that week. You have to be realistic. And you have to, even though it's comparing to everybody, you've got to go for your best times. Otherwise, I want to make the Olympics. I want to beat Michael Phelps's, 18-year-old record. Let's just start with you, because that's kind of the Hollywood wishful thinking world where It's a gift from God. We get to swim. Not everywhere in the world is everybody doing athletics. COVID tried to shut us down. A lot of things, a lot of countries, Ukraine right now, most of their pools are blown up. And it's so sad. But we even thank God tonight for that we get to swim. I get to coach. I'm coaching with my best friend from Arizona State University who swam 40-some-odd years of friendship, and I get to coach with him. That's amazing.
It is.
That
So
really is
I'm
awesome.
spoiled. I'm a spoiled rotten American and proud of it.
We're visiting with the head coach of the ACU men's and women's swim program. This is Brad Herring. Coach, you're always dropping knowledge. That's the one thing about it. Like, we could just pick up the knowledge from the ground that you're dropping, but laminar flow. That's another household swimming term that just runs
Yeah, well,
right into conversation.
So let me give you a little illustration here. Water is 800 times more dense than air. Okay, 800 times more dense.
Yeah.
It's non-forgiving. So if you're not streamlined, pancake hands, you are going to be, I tell people, I'm trying to write a book on this, got a couple chapters done. You're either a dump truck, a Suburban, a small SUV, a Toyota Corolla, or a Ferrari. When you breathe, you can go from Ferrari to dump truck right off. So laminar flow is the flow over your body, kind of like aerodynamic flow in cars. That's why killer whales and dolphins are fast. Their flow goes over them, and it actually presses into their body and compresses. And the human body is not really made to swim. Fastest swimmer is 6 miles an hour in the water, 14 miles an hour off the blocks. So if you're not doing your gymnastics right, you're not really swimming. But it's just science to me, and I got kicked out of SeaWorld one time for studying a little too much, waiting in the dolphin pool. But I love it, still love it.
Did you really do that?
Yeah, was that live?
Yeah.
I did. I was real over. So if you want to know the secret, you got countdown on your watch. If you put your countdown in your watch, world, or who's ever listening, you set your little countdown to 10 seconds. You put your watch underwater as you're pretending to feed them whatever they got there, and you lean out far enough. It'll be every single dolphin will come over to you and go, and they'll go right in your face. And after a while, you feel so one with them that you might slip in the tank. And I did. I got kicked out the last hour.
They don't understand what happened. They
don't.
The story,
they
right?
don't. And when you're trying to beat 7-foot Germans, if you don't have a down kick, that's the natural part. Your quads are stronger than your hammies. If you don't have the up kick like a dolphin is, you don't have it. So my excuse was I was trying to break the American record, and I needed an underwater shot on it. That was my excuse.
The sound effects are right on the money, Coach.
It works for kids, and then sometimes people just laugh at me. But you really have to be a dolphin in the water to really get this, because the fifth stroke is dolphin kick now. It's an underwater race. I didn't know that back in my day when we barely wear goggles. We did not race with goggles. With Rowdy Gaines and all those guys, we did not wear goggles on our races till about the mid-'80s. So just a little history.
Coach, I actually wondered about that goggle bit when you talk about all the layers of what you're speaking with, but water buoyancy obviously is a whole part of this whole equation. But just on a quick note, you and your lovely wife, Tracy, named your young son, the young herring, Boaz.
Yes.
What's the origination? How did you come across that? Because it's very unique. It's one of a kind.
I'm glad you asked that, because Boaz is the kinsman redeemer in the book of Ruth.
Okay.
So we tease him right now because who was Boaz before he married Ruth in the Bible? And the answer is ruthless.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, but the real deal is his Hebrew name means, his name means strength. And so here's a young boy that's not built like a football player. He's kind of built more like the Bermuda Triangle with huge lats and big shoulders. But every year he's going to get stronger. And I think one day, he already is glorifying God, but his name means strength. Pretty soon is going to show up in the water, I think, as well as every other swim we have. Names pretty powerful. You need to know names. I go through drive-thrus and tell people, give out Bibles. Like, Gabriel, you know what your name means? Well, I think it's an angel. Your name means God is deliverance. Powerful when people know it.
It is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So inspiration is huge. But yeah, Boaz came from the Bible, and I could brag about him in a whole nother show, but I'll spare you guys. I'm a dad.
And we'll do that again.
Yeah.
We'll have you on another show. Ed, I don't know where we're at in the questioning. Do you? Are you? Is it?
I got lost in
for you?
SeaWorld underwater a little bit. But
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the girls. They went really well. 4 of the ladies got 5 first place finishes over there in Litchfield Park. Talk about your ladies.
Yeah, okay. Well, we got a new swimmer there that's doing great. Yeah. See, they're all cheering for the lady. Audrey from Apache Junction got 2 victories over some very good swimmers. Girls that made nationals last year. Just a tough. There's some girls that actually I put them in the guys lane and say tear them up, and girls train harder than guys and work out. But she did really well, Audrey. And then Eva took away the 100 fly real easily. Katie Sheldon really showed that showdown on the 500 free where she went ahead of the master swimmer. And then the last 50, the master swimmer tried to beat her. And when a distance swimmer swims, right, Robin? When a distance swimmer swims, they normally breathe on one side. And so when you're breathing on one side and the other swimmers on the opponents on the other side, you can't really see where they're at. Not that you should be looking or taking pictures, but Katie was that girl from Masters was pulling up. Katie kind of saw her on her outside peripheral and beat her by 2/100ths of a second.
Wow.
That was the closest race. But she also negative split the race, which is very, very rare when you consider the dive is 14 miles an hour and your energy levels at the beginning of a race. So some other individual times, we had Tiffany go a lifetime best in the 100 fly, broke her high school record, right? We had we had one girl who never swam on a team before go some amazing times, Hannah Angel. The crew, Abby, our transfer from Simpson, showed some guts in the 200. Katarina from Ukraine was in the 200. So the girls, we have more depth with them. But, you can look around a deck, you can look around any game, and you kind of see a countenance of a team. I like the countenance of our team. I don't like to see where everybody's tails tucked in or down low like this, and this is not a gift. It is a gift. It's a gift from God, and we'll be thankful no matter what. And we honor each other, and we show great sportsmanship. That's the goal of the team. Character's higher than any performance in my book, so that's what we go for.
Coach, when you talk about the degree of difficulty for both Mr. Betancourt and then you just mentioned the young lady with the splits and getting better as the event goes on, that's saying something about what you're doing, your staff's doing, the preparation, the conditioning, the work in the weight room, if you will. It's a testament to what you're doing, Coach.
Coach Rob Oldak he's one of those guys that sounds real suave when he gives out we're doing this. And his voice is almost taming, but everybody's heart rate's in the 180s. And he's able to kind of get them through more than, again, give them the right carrot so they are tested and challenged. But when they get out, this is what's funny, especially morning workouts, I came in a bad mood and I maybe even swore at you underwater, but when I got out, I would say, man, did you see what I did, Coach? And we'll say, yeah, I know what you did. It's a dance. Coach and swimmer, it's a dance. You've got to respect each other. You've got to inspire each other. And if you don't have that challenge there, play checkers or something. Sorry for those of you that do that, but.
Coach, 60 seconds or less, 9 meets, 4 cities. Of course, you got the PSC Championship down the road in L.A., and then things will culminate at the NAIA National Championship in Columbus.
Yeah, Georgia.
What can you expect there, 60 seconds or less?
Well, every race, we're racing GCU, NCAA, 1, NAU, same deal. They're in another. So we get to race. What I like to see is when they go up against the big league. And sometimes the coaches come over to me, I'm going to steal your swimmer. That girl's good or that guy's good. Used to coach there, used to coach at GCU. So it's swimming is a worldwide thing, and it's just the challenge of iron sharpening iron. And when you're all done, I even thank my Olympic partners every year. Hey, thanks for challenging me. That's what it's about. The journey is kind of long, but the ones that hang in there and don't lose heart are going to be on top. And you learn a lot from it. But it's a privilege to coach, and I love this group. They are an inspiration to me. Was that 60 seconds?
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah, that was 60 seconds.
That's good for a preacher.
Men's and women's head swimming coach, that is head coach Brad Herring, always full of knowledge, information, and love, and passion. And we can't ask for any more than that, Coach.
Thanks.
Continued success to you going down the road.
Thank you very
And,
much.
Thank you,
guys.
Coach.
Do come back and more on Boaz. That's
Yeah,
to be
well,
continued, right?
Boaz continued. Kinsman
Yeah.
Redeemer.
Appreciate
Ruthless right now.
We're-
Thanks a lot, guys.
We're going to talk with the head coach.
Thank you,
Jeff
Coach.
Bowen joins the program straight ahead. We welcome you back inside the Tower Grill on the campus of Arizona Christian University. I'm Kevin Derryberry alongside Ed Cole, and the man in the middle is the head coach of the ACU men's football team. That's Jeff Bowen. JB, welcome to the broadcast. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you guys?
Looking good. Wearing the
Good.
black. I didn't get the black memo here. We wore black Friday night or Saturday night. I beg your pardon. But you guys look good. I want to just
Thank you.
point that out. I'm kind of the one that's out there looking funny. Coach, first drive of the game, we punch it in. Nice long money play. Tyler Duncan to A.J. Sibley. Point after try, good. And it was a dogfight at that point. And you knew you were going to be in for a tough battle. But give us some of the good points on your takeaways from Saturday night.
Well, we did some things to give us a chance early on. We wanted to control the ball, and we did. We had, I think, 3 or 4 drives of 10 plays or more. You'd like to come out of there with touchdowns. We came out with a touchdown, a field goal, and then a missed field goal on another drive. So we did some stuff offensively that we wanted to do, maintaining possession of the ball, keeping the defense off the field. They only had 1 drive in the first quarter. I think their second possession, they started their second possession with 9 seconds left. So we did some stuff to give us a chance early. We made a couple mistakes in the second quarter, so you go down 11 at the half, and really it could have easily have been us up 10-7. But, it didn't happen. You got to play the game, and we made some mistakes, and that cost us. And then really what was really tough is you come out of half and you're feeling like you're playing pretty decent. You're giving yourself a chance, and then we let them run the kickoff back for a touchdown. And that's a huge dagger and just deflated a lot of things. And even with that, the offense took the ball the next series and went 10 plays, drove it down the field, and we missed a field goal. So you can't make mistakes like that against a really good football team.
Also, they had almost 240 yards rushing. They were really strong on the ground, Coach. 7.2 yards per carry. That's getting it done on the ground for the Yotes.
That's what they're built to do. I mean, that's their MO. They're going to run the football, and I'm not going to make excuses. They ran it at us. We're beat up. The guys that are in the game have to play and get the job done, and we didn't get the job done.
On those long drives, Coach, that end with nothing, what's the issue with that? Why aren't those drives culminating in points?
Well, let's see. We had 2 interceptions. Actually, 1 interception on a drive. We had a missed field goal. On the 4 long drives, we went score, field goal, missed field goal, and 4th down and out, 4 and out. So, we were decent inside the red zone. Our 3rd down conversion rate was good. We were at 53%. We did some good things. It's the little things with good people. And then we got some untimely penalties, and then now you're behind the chains chasing it. So not good.
Coach, we never want to go down the penalty road, but it was frustrating. It was challenging. Johnny Herrera was running all over the place, and it seemed like every time he got to the 40, we'd start the drive on the 10-yard line. It just seemed that way, but part of that issue, there's a lot of special teams woes there where when you look back at the film, did they call it right, or what was happening there? It just seemed like it happened too often.
The refs don't play the game. We do. So, technically, if you want to be honest with it, you can call a penalty on every play.
Probably could, sure, yeah.
But
there's something on special teams that they were going after consistently.
It's when you're doing it, and actually it was both drives. We bring it out to the 40 and we're back to the 10. It was the same young man making the mistake, and obviously he wasn't on there the next time we went out. But there's no excuses for it. You got to be more disciplined in what you're doing and how you're going about it. You can live with some physical mistakes. It's the mental mistakes that lead to penalties, the dead ball fouls, the offsides, the illegal motions, just stuff like that you can't overcome when you're playing really good. Playing really good teams.
Coach, one bright spot defensively, I thought Jackson Ortiz stepped up. Jackson Ortiz was our Bell Lexus North Scottsdale player of the game, and he had a couple pass breakups. I was involved heavily in that defense, and I thought he was, again, a guy that came to play Saturday night.
Yeah, Jackson has really improved his game. He's really growing as a player, both mentally and physically in his production. Doing real well. I know I think he had 2 or 3 pass breakups, did a nice job getting involved in tackles at the point of attack. I think he had 7 total tackles or something like that. Mm-hmm. His play is really improving. He's really developing into a quality defensive back.
And then, Ed, I don't know if you're going to mention it, but Cam Tibbetts, as banged up as he was, man, he turned in another 9-tackle performance. He's in the top 15 in the country. He leads the Frontier Conference. So you do have some bright spots and some good pieces to build around, Coach.
This is not the season's not going the way we want it to go, but we do have some players that are really developing. It's been just a crazy year. I mean, Game 5, and we've already had 4 guys in for surgery. So, it's just one of those years where, you need to play well and you need to stay healthy. And we're not playing consistent, and we haven't stayed healthy. So that's a recipe for some rough goes, and that's kind of where we're at. So we're not feeling sorry for ourselves. We're right the ship. The culture is the culture. What we do is what we do here. If anything, we step up what we do. We're not going to go soft and just let's keep everybody happy kind of thing. We're developing. We're playing as hard as we're going to play. So we're going to honor our seniors. As they finish up their senior year, because at 2 and 4, you're not going to be in the playoffs. So we're honoring those guys and what they do, and then our underclassmen are getting a boatload of playing time just because of attrition that we've gone through this year. So
we saw a lot of newcomers on Saturday night.
Yeah. We had a few dozen out there. So we're just going to continue that, because then if we do that right now and establish what we want to go into the future with, and how we do things, and have these young guys take their lumps now and learn, then we're, for the future, then we'll be just fine. I mean, haven't done this in a long time, and I don't want to do it anytime soon again. But we're gonna stay in the fight and keep battling with our guys. And had a good meeting today, and good spiritual development with Coach Chambers. So we're back at it on the field tomorrow, getting ready for a tough Southern Oregon team. There's never there's no down games in the Frontier.
Not at all.
Sure isn't.
There's no down games. So you got to. That's why it's one of the premier conferences in the country. So here we go, Southern Oregon. We'll get ready.
Yeah, you get to try to slow down Avery McQuaig, who's the second leading rusher in the conference. So, like you said, no rest for the weary here in this case. We got to get after it in a hurry.
Yep.
You
got a challenge. I mean, they went into Rocky Mountain last week and pulled off the upset over the Battling Bears, 23-5. So they're playing good defense right now, keeping people out of the end zone, and so they may be hitting their stride. So we have to get things locked in and get ready, and then head off to Ashland and get a win, get back in the win category.
Coach, even with the record 2-4, as you mentioned, playoffs are out of the question. What's the morale like in the locker room with the guys?
Oh, good. I mean, our guys played hard. They were in it together and stuff, and you really get the true character of your team and stuff when you're struggling through adversity. Everybody's happy when you're rolling. I mean, no one thinks we're bad players. No one thinks we have bad players or crummy coaches when we're winning conference titles. But when you start losing a few, now you got bad players and not very good coaches, and that just comes with the territory of sport. I mean, that's why they're called fans. It's short for fanatics. Our guys are in a good headspace, and we're going to get ready to play, and I'm not worried about that in any shape or form.
Coach, one player that we look at, you can see whether things are going good or they're going bad or the wheels have completely fallen off. Justin Wright just takes the football and runs hard, and he gets after it, and I think he's just a great example of no matter what the situation is during the game, no matter what the score is or how late in the game it is, you're going to get your best effort from that young man.
Well, Justin's been a really nice pickup for us to transfer out of Southwest Missouri State, and he has a love and a passion for the game.
Truly,
he does it the way we want it to be. We're not playing for the scoreboard, and I know it sounds cliche, but we say that win or lose. But we play for the audience of one, and he's just a locked-in kid that has a strong passion for the game.
Future coach, maybe.
Wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't doubt it. He's definitely got a love for the game.
Another young man that impresses Kevin and I is 21, Patty Nunn. We got a chance to meet him and his girlfriend after the game. Such a respectful, great young man to meet and talk to. Had an interception, 3 tackles on Saturday. What'd you see from Patty?
Patrick's a nice addition for us. He's been there. He's played in the 100,000 seat stadiums. He played. Was a starter at Washington State. So he's played at the highest level, and life happens sometimes, and he's got this one more shot to play and with us, and just enjoy it. And he's really growing in his faith, which is important to him coming in here, and he's just a nice young man who's he's learning more about life and faith than he is about football, which is really cool. And I think he's going to play it out here at the end, and he'd like to be able to play at the next level. So we'll see what happens with that. But he's a quality young man, and even though we're going to only have him for 1 year, I'm glad he's with us.
And he lives his life Christ-like, and he's very humble with that and his faith and proud of his faith. But, boy, he sure delivered. That pick was quite athletic right in front of the bench right there. We needed it. We were talking about it at some point. I don't know when I asked for it. I go, pick 6 would be nice right about now, Ed. And he agreed, but the timing was off. But still, to see him make a play like that, be an impact off the edge, and then, as you referred to, be strong in the room, too. It's you need more guys like that.
Oh, yeah, you'll take that any day of the week. So he's doing a nice job, and and it's always tough when you come in to a program for any young man that comes into the program for the first time, and just how quick can you assimilate into the group and stuff like that. And he's done a nice job of that, and I'm glad he's with us.
Coach, my last one for you. You mentioned some things to work on. What will be some things that you might put more emphasis on in practice this week versus another week?
Well, I mean, against these guys, they're a good defensive team, so we got to really work on on staying on blocks and stuff. They have the leading pass rusher sack guy in the conference. He's number 1. And then their second guy is number 5 in the conference. So they do a nice job of creating edge pressure with their 2 ends and stuff. So we gotta get that on lock on the offensive side of the ball, and on the defensive side of the ball, we got to stop the run. I mean, they have a formidable running back, and they like to get at you with some heavy sets and take the ball downhill. So you gotta stand in there. When you play teams like that, you got to be able to stand in the in the wedge, try to be the hammer, not the nail.
You got to put a hat on Noah Turnbull. 5'2" is the number. He's the guy that out the chip and Justin Wright. All the guys in the backfield are going to have to put a hat on that young man because he leads the conference with 7 sacks. That's the guy you're talking about.
Yeah, he's got 7 sacks, and his counterpart on the other side has 3. So 10 sacks combined. They're putting some pressure on the quarterback.
The beauty of it, the sun will come up tomorrow, and it came up on Sunday morning for us.
Too,
it came up today. Mm-hmm. So that's the beauty of it. AC will be on the road against Southern Oregon University in Ashland, as Coach mentioned that. So we'll look forward to watching that game. Hopefully we'll have access to it here in the West Coast. But thank you, Jeff, for your time tonight.
Yeah,
and
thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it. We're going to turn our attention to the pitch. We're going to talk with men's soccer players. That we're going to talk with. We want to make sure we get his name right because he's got a sweet name. Janne Hintze will be on the program. He'll be joined by Aiden Abbitt. We're going to talk some soccer right here on the program. It's the Storm Report right here from Arizona Christian University at the Tower Grill. Welcome back to the Storm Report for season number 3. This is episode 7. I'm KDB. He's Ed Cole. And our guest here in the middle on the set, that's Janne Hintze, and also joined by Aiden Abbitt. Aiden is the second time that he's been on the set. And a little difference in size, I might say here, because for Janne, I was looking at his bio here, 6'1", 205. That's pretty good for a defenseman. It's kind of nice to have a guy like that size back there working for us, huh?
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It makes it to where I don't need to win headers.
The men's soccer program is off to a 6-5 start, but we want to welcome you guys to tonight's broadcast. Thanks for being a part of tonight's show.
Of course. Thanks for having us.
Again, you guys got the all-black memo. I'm matching our SID, Tim Gosen, wearing the ACU red. So
we had a group chat.
Very good. Welcome to the show. What can you guys attribute to the successful start? 6-5. We'll start with you, Aiden. Right there, I think second on the team in scoring points with 8. So you make a major contribution offensively.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think for us, it's just not beating ourselves in games that we've won and games that we've been successful. It's just staying focused for those 90 minutes and putting the team away early or holding leads later on in the game.
Yes, I'll pass it off to you.
I agree to that. Yeah, I mean, probably can talk more about the defensive side, but for me, I think it's really important that we are strong offensively, but also defensively lock it down back there, and that's the way we can get results.
Yep.
In this sport, fellas, the guys that score get a lot of love. Obviously they get all the accolades, they get all the lights and the cameras on them because they actually get a score. But both of you guys got an assist in the game against OUAZ recently, and that helped with the victory. Talk about the fact of the importance of getting those assists, setting up your brothers that actually score the goals.
Of course, I mean, that assist was massive for us. It was a minute left in the game. Saw Santi on the back side of the ball of the goal. Just decided that's who I'm aiming it towards on the set piece and goal. So it won us the game. Big conference game, needed that win, especially after our rough start in California. But I mean, I always look at assists as they're just goals. Like, it's setting up my guys. I can score, but if I can get an assist, I'm going to take an assist any day of the week.
And it's about that unselfishness, right, Janne?
Yes, I agree with that, yeah. For me, I'm always happy when I give an assist to someone because that means I can help someone else to score, and it's just, I love to support my teammates in that way.
It's one thing to score a goal. Any goal you get, doesn't matter how the ball goes in. It's exhilarating, right? Mm-hmm. But when you see a successful set piece, there's something added to that, right? Where the execution it's got to be perfect almost every time to be able to put one in the back of the net on a set piece. So how exhilarating was this one in this case? Aiden?
I mean, this one for us, it was our first set piece goal of the season.
Okay.
Like, if you go look back at it, we've struggled on set pieces so far this season. We've been working on it on the training ground, corners, free kicks, everything. But this one, it came at a perfect time. Perfect time to score our first one, a minute left in a conference game against our town rivals. So I thought, you know what, no better time to score.
Let me add on to that. A lot of times we say victory is sweet, and that's true. But beating OUAZ is just a little sweeter, isn't it?
Of course. Those ones always feel a little bit different.
It's definitely an important game for us.
Maybe 100%. Speak to that, Janne, just what's it like to be the crosstown rival. We know that in that game there's a lot of chirping, and it goes on and off the field. But and it happens in all the sports, right? Even with the ladies, whatever it is. There's just something about that rivalry that it's been kind of hot since it started.
Definitely, 100%, and they always want to beat us. We always want to beat them. So it's always, you look forward to that game, and when it comes around, you're just ready to go. And I think just the way the game went this time, I think
100%.
You can see 100% how willing everyone is to win, especially that game.
You literally just see it on the schedule, and you're like, oh, okay. And then it's another level, right? The next level is there for you.
Aiden, so you and Janne have grown up together. This is both your fourth year together. How have you seen him grow? And Janne, I'll ask you, how have you seen Aiden grow over the 4 years? So Aiden, you go ahead and start it off.
I mean, man, our first 2 seasons, we didn't really get all that many minutes.
True.
All together, but the last 2 seasons, I feel like we've been successful. We were the only 2 now left from guys from that class.
4-year guys, I think so.
Crazy.
Yes.
It's crazy how that works. Yeah, we're the only 2. So, knowing him for the last 4 years, it's been great to see him grow, to see him become a premier center back in our conference and even the NAIA altogether. So it's been a great experience with him.
Thank you.
Janne, what have you seen in the OG right here?
I really appreciate Aiden. I still remember my freshman year when we still had to practice off campus. We didn't have that field built yet. He was the one that gave me and some of the other freshmen who used to live on campus rides every morning to practice. And he was just such a good teammate through the whole 4 years. And I love to see him also develop into a very important guy on the pitch for us.
Appreciate you.
So, Janne, you're from Hamburg, Germany.
Yes, sir.
Hence the accent, the very nice accent. How did you find out about ACU? What attracted you to Arizona Christian all the way from Germany?
Well, I had a couple teammates back home in my youth academy who went that step, and they were older than me, and they told me about that. They went to the U.S. to play soccer and go to college here. And also a degree from a school in America has a very high value over there. So I was thinking, okay, it could be a great opportunity for me. So I tried to get in contact with coaches, got some people over there to help me, and then ACU reached out to me, and I just talked to the coach. Looked at the program at the school, and I just thought it's a really good fit for me at the end, I can say. So. That's how I found out about it, and I'm grateful that I took this step.
Gentlemen, it's always nice to have a guy on the team that you can rely on to score goals. And in this case, for your team right now, Marlon Arce is that guy. He leads the team in scoring goals with 5. What's it like to have a guy that you know at some point he's going to be able to deliver for you, and you just kind of keep feeding him, you trust in him, and that kind of ultimately makes everybody a little bit better around him?
Of course, I mean, every time I get the ball and I'm driving forward, I'm always looking for him because I know if he gets a shot on goal, it's a pretty good chance it's going to go in. Guy's great at shooting, great at finishing. He's a goal poacher, man, and it's helped us so far this season. So.
Yes, I agree. Especially as a defensive player, I always love having guys like him up there because, you know, they can, first of all, they can take pressure off of your job because when they have the ball, that means you don't have to defend. And also, you know, when you do your job, then he will definitely score. So as long as you're doing your job, you know, he got it.
Mm-hmm. So, Janne, if I take that comment in the right perspective, you enjoy watching the game versus playing the game, right?
I don't know if I would say it that way. It's
of course.
Yeah. I like to see the team succeed. So.
I feel like I ask this question more times than not when we talk soccer, but maybe, Aiden, I asked you this last time, but do you guys play FIFA?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
everybody plays FIFA.
I want to know how you can bend the ball. In real-life soccer now, you're on the field 40 yards out, and you can somehow bend it to the top right corner from, I'll say, 60 feet out. I used 40. That was a weak number. Let's go 60, 70. How do you do that? Is that something that's God-given ability? Is it practice through time? Because we didn't see that 20 years ago. The ball's moving all over the place now. What do you attribute this movement and just how fast it's coming in? I mean, if the goalies are taking shots at 60, 70 miles an hour now.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I mean, I just feel like it's technique at the end of the day. Like, guys will train their whole lives from a little kid all the way until they're an adult, and you train the technique of shooting, you train the technique of hitting the ball into the box, getting that curve on it, getting that bend on it, and it's just you just learn it throughout the years, and you almost perfect it to a sense.
Can you do that same thing?
I definitely not as good as he can. But, yeah, I try.
Janne, is soccer any different here than it is in Germany?
I would say yes and no, because there's definitely the way the game is the way the game is played here, I think, is very similar at the end of the day, because it's there are a lot of international guys over here, and also a lot of American coaches look at I feel like at the European style of play, because that's just basically where the game is played in the best way. So it's really close to that, but the way the sport is set up here, I would say, is completely different, because back home we don't have the whole college sports system the way it's set up here. It's focused on club sports, and it's very difficult to combine academics and sports in the way that the US does, and I really like it. I think it's great.
Gentlemen, I'll ask you both. We've had Coach Krzywiecki on the show multiple times, one of our favorite guests. They're all our favorite guests, but Teddy K, as we like to call him. What's it like to play for Teddy K? It just seems like that he's a true coach's coach, but he's passionate about what he does. He wants to teach. He wants to help pass along the message of Christ, and he's just a great coach and a great fit here at ACU. What's your takeaways from Teddy K?
I mean, overall, my relationship with Coach has grown immensely over my 3 years with him. My first year, I was a little quiet. I was a sophomore, but it was basically my freshman year because of COVID and stuff. So, I wasn't where I'm at now. But over the last 2 years, I feel like he's the only coach I've ever played for throughout club, throughout college, that's allowed me to play free and allowed me just to be myself on the field, and I thank him every day for that.
That's fantastic. How about you, Janne?
Yes, I have to agree with that. I really love how dedicated he is and how passionate he is about his job, and I also just the way he fits into the school as well. I think he really is able to transport the soccer message as well as the faith part to us in a very good way.
Last one for me, Janne. I'm going to start with you. I'm curious, how do you like the food in the United States versus the food at home?
Well,
and it's
different for sure. I have to be honest.
Thumbs up or thumbs down on the food overall?
Or
It's okay. It's in the middle. I would say in the middle. There are definitely good things, but at the end of the day, I prefer it back home.
All right. So if you, what's the go-to in Glendale right here? Like it's just on a quick thought. What you need something? You want something good?
the calf.
Yes, sir.
It's the cafeteria.
Really?
That's the go-to. Aiden, for you, the go-to.
No, I don't live on campus, so it's never the cap for me.
All right. Well, that's fine. Maybe that one's too tough of a question.
Well,
you don't want to put anybody down, right?
I really like Mexican food, to be honest. So yeah,
Carolina's across the street.
Mm-hmm. It's a pretty good spot. Yeah,
good
That's
spot.
a really good spot.
Just in general.
I've met Mr. Gosen eats over there. I know he's taken his family there a couple times. I've seen him there a couple times. That's a good spot right there. Aiden, if you never checked it out.
Oh, I've been there many times.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. Sometimes, you might have that, I can't, my body does not allow that.
No.
We're taught
I've grown up in Phoenix my whole life, so I can handle it.
All right, fantastic. Ed, wrap it up for us.
Gentlemen, I'll wrap it up because Tim said we got to get out of here. We want to thank you guys for coming, and best of luck against Hope International on Thursday. You got a home game, so we're excited about that. So again, thank you for coming, and good luck in that GSAC play. Got to even it up at 2-2.
Of course, I agree.
Hey, and the soccer teams, they're 4-2 on the ACU football field, so they continue to play well at home. All right, we want to thank everybody. I want to thank my broadcast partner, Ed Cole, and we certainly want to thank the guys that make it happen behind the glass. That's Payne Moses and, of course, Tim Gosen. And special thank you to all of our guests, Aiden Abbitt, Janne Hintze, of course, head coach Jeff Bowen. And then it was great to have Coach Herring on as well. We had a great time tonight. It's been our pleasure. And, in fact, until next time, we thank you very much for watching and listening to that show. Let's wrap it up. Until next time, so long for now. Good night.
Good night.